Hello everyone, welcome to Brenda's Brush Strokes and Bisque, painting live on Thursday, September 9th at 7 p.m. Central Time. And I have in your view is the, gotta think here, the August box, which was our gourd box with our dragonfly, which we already completed the week before last week. We did a squishing technique using saran wrap on our base coat of rust, and then we used hot orange and lemon peel and blotted that on there. Then we used our silk screen and thickened our black brown with our silk screen medium, which has to be very, very thick, thick like cold peanut butter, or if you ever use the car wax paste, thick like that, so it doesn't bleed underneath and through the silk screen, making your letters extra wide. So that was probably the biggest challenge for everyone, is to make sure you mix that really thick, and then you can also practice that on a brown paper bag or cardstock before you use it on your piece, so you know you have the right thickness, and then you can wash out your silk screen gently by rubbing it between your two fingers under warm soapy water, and it'll wash out really well, and then blot it dry, and then you can use it to do your project. Then we also dry brushed our dragonfly and then sealed it and glued in our rope, and I unfrayed this one so it looks a little scraggly and just looks like it's been pulled from the vine. So that is our box project that we've actually already completed. And then last week, just as an extra, we painted this Scarecrow as an extra kind of a freebie. He was painted, and it looks like I smeared rust on him. I need to touch that up, but he was painted with a medium brown or light brown. I don't remember. I have it written down on the paper, and then used some salt, the spice container, to draw our circles for our eyes, and then painted that in. We painted our hat in under the hair in underneath our hat. Did his face, his little triangle nose, glued on the rest of his hair, cut a triangle for the burlap hat and glued that together, and put a little bit of burlap or raffia up inside the end of the point of the hat, bent it over, glued on a button and some little patches, put on a little butterfly or ladybug button. And then we also made a little bow tie for him. So that's just to show you that you can do other things with your gourd besides painting in the welcome autumn or just painting it one color. So that is just a little extra project that we did. I would still have to give Courtney the directions, and she'll post that under our free resources tab on brendasbrushstrokesandbisque.com. I should be able to do that tomorrow. She don't know if she'll be able to do it tomorrow though, but hopefully by early next week. And then yesterday or Tuesday when I was at the classroom, I whipped up this little project as another gourd project. Just kind of looked on the internet for some different ideas on Pinterest and typed in Halloween scenes, and it's just very simple. No pattern was traced or anything. So that's actually what we're going to do tonight, because we had to have some requests for like a little Halloween scene. So that's what we're going to do tonight, just to show you that even though it's a gourd, you can do a ton of different things with the darn gourds. So they're a lot of fun. So that's what we'll start with tonight. So I did base coat my gourd black earlier today, but I do want to put on another layer of it, because I want my orange and my yellow to kind of blend with my black a little bit. So I'm just going to put on another quick layer so it's wet and it'll blend a little bit. So I just have our OS 476 black. You want to get me the tablet, Courtney, too?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And then I did like the flat brush, flat brush. Looks like I got some cobblestoning on here, because I was cobblestoning today at the classroom. So I'm just using a 3/4 inch flat brush, and I'm going to dip in my water first to condition it, and then dab it out. just dip into my black and put a real light coat of black on here. Brush it out really nice so we don't have any ridges or rivers of paint. And I just wanted a fresh coat of black so that when we put our orange and yellows on, it'll kind of blend in with the black a little bit and kind of give that nice nighttime spooky look that the gourd has. You could also put your thin-in shade in your colors. That would keep them open longer and it would help the colors blend a little bit too. But I'm just doing the fresh coat of black and that'll do it too. Because I don't want it blending a whole lot, just a little bit. So you can look like, just look on the internet. You can look on Pinterest. There's any little place, different craft magazines. You could look just for different little ideas of what you want to have in your scene. I knew I wanted a haunted house and a tree, some tombstones, the bats, the ghosts. The only thing I kind of forgot about was doing a kind of a spider web. I could have done that in the tree or something too. So I'm just doing a nice quick layer here of our black so it's nice and fresh. I got a little piece of chunk in my paint there. I'm just brushing that out real quick. So hopefully you guys enjoy this and you're not intimidated by it, because it's, even though it's a free, kind of a free form thing, it's pretty forgiving because the haunted houses can look crooked and you don't have to be measuring them and making sure everything's exactly perfect. Same with the tree, it can look kind of crotchety and doesn't have to be perfect branch per branch. Which way?
Repeat your brush.
It's just a 3/4 inch flat nylon painting brush. This was a Royal Majestic by Royal. I'm just using a nice big flat brush that works good for when we do the next layer of blending the colors a little bit, because it's not it's nothing exact. It's just a real quickie little project. So I have this kind of all brushed on here now and it's starting to dry. So I'm just going to set that down. I'm actually going to wash out my brush. Let me just go back and forth, kind of rubbing the brush on the bottom of the bowl. I don't have my Harold's brush pad cleaner in there, but I would use that otherwise. And then I just want to pat it dry. So it looks like we got our Facebook video interruptions going on here tonight. And now we're back. So hopefully we don't have too much of that. So now while that's drying just a little bit, I'm going to make a couple piles of paint on my foil. The only three color I used: hot orange, OS 439, orange peel, OS 438, and then lemon peel, OS 434, and then the black. So those are actually the only colors I used on our piece. So I'm just going to make a couple piles of those. Pretty good size piles. See, there it comes. Whoa, now it got all in my other stuff there. Well, that's how that goes, but that's okay. We're going to mix it together anyway. And some yellow over there. So we're going to let it dry just a little bit. So when I brushed it on, my gourd while it's drying here a little bit, I just went horizontal. I tried to brush it out a little bit, but I didn't brush it out much. I wanted that black to be coming through. You can see it kind of just gives that scary nighttime look. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm not going to brush up and down. I'm just going to brush horizontal. I'm sorry, horizontal. I let a little bit of black up on top and then a little bit of black on the bottom. And now darn thing paused again the way it looks, so hopefully it's just this tablet and not everybody's Facebook. So I'm just going to go horizontal once my gourd is a little bit drier, and then we'll come back and paint our other stuff over the top. But it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be completely black, completely orange and yellow. You can see through it. That just kind of gives our little nighttime look to it. Sometimes they'll do a dark midnight navy on part of it and then switch over to like a deeper purple for the bottom half. So there's just a ton of different ways you can do it. I just picked the orange and the to go with the black kind of, so that's what we're gonna do. So don't be afraid to try it. It's nothing hard. Cordy, could I have one of the sticks that we use? My drying rack sticks. If you have one of the drying racks, you can use that. I could probably put my hand up in there, but I'd be afraid I might not get my hand out. So we do. Otherwise, I do have our drying racks, and we are hoping to get those back in stock by Friday. And I just want to stick that up in there. Black Friday? What did I say?
Friday.
Oh no, Black Friday. Then I can kind of. I like that because I can stick my hand up here, and I'll actually hold the gourd down with these two fingers against that board. But if you have a piece of a broom handle or something, you could use that too. So you can see it's starting to dry now. So I'm just going to start with dip my brush into the paint. I would have went with the hot orange and then the orange peel, but since it's kind of mixed together, I'm just going to dip it in there. So you can see I kind of have half a paintbrush of the hot orange and then the orange peel. And I'm just going to kind of lay it on there, just kind of brush back and forth. Don't brush too much. But you do want to brush it out, so you can see it kind of just like blends it and then layers it then. And we'll just keep working our way around. So I'm going horizontal. And just brushing it out so there isn't too much paint in one spot. Just dipping in my brush, keeping my dark on the bottom half and the light on the top half, or you can do it the other way, just as long as you're always putting the dark where the dark is and the light where the light is. And just kind of lightly touching it on the gourd to kind of spread it out. And kind of brush over it a couple times, like so like that's too strong of a definition of color, so I want to brush that out a little bit. Just kind of blend it together a little bit more, even though it's not completely blended. It's not real obvious that it's two different colors right at once. Kind of letting that black come through.
They're rowdy tonight.
Cordy says you guys are rowdy tonight. What's going on?
Pizza, beer, margaritas.
Pizza, beer, margaritas. Oh wow, we're ready to Halloween party. So again, I'm just kind of brushing it out. If there's too much black somewhere, you can come back with dipping your paint and just bring some more paint on and kind of just lightly drag it around. And you can go left to right, right to left, it doesn't matter. The biggest thing is to always keep putting your brush so the dark is always in the same spot, half of the brush, and the light's on the other half, and not mixing that up.
Try it with purple.
Cordy thinks we should try it with purple. We could probably do that. I mean, it's really simple. So you can see I have a lot of dark orange here now, so I'm actually going to go back and get some of the light orange. I must have flipped my brush over.
When do you do the yellow?
Cordy asked, when do I do the yellow? Once I come back around here, I'm going to do the yellow. Do some yellow. So I did like about a third to a half of it. I'm just brushing again that horizontally. So now I made it all the way around. So I'm going to take my brush and just dip it in the yellow. And while the bottom is still wet, and that's way too much, I'm just going to kind of work some yellow in here and there, however much you want. You can see it just kind of blends right in there. So I kind of spread it out so it's kind of blended a little more now. And I'll go in and get a little more, kind of put it in one spot, and now just kind of brush it out. That just kind of gives that kind of a moonlight effect to it. So now that's getting a little dry there where my yellow is, so I'm just going to dip back in my 2 oranges and drag that over my yellow. I don't know if there's a technique for this, it's just something that I do. So now it's getting a little dry here, so I went into the yellow and the oranges. I go back into my oranges. So I don't want it real yellow because it's kind of a nighttime thing. And we'll get a little bit of yellow, which is way too much yellow. Dab that out on the paper towel. And then come back over it with the oranges. And then just spin it around. Now we're almost around, so I'll put some yellow in the center. Go back into my 2 oranges. Kind of drag that right over the top of that yellow, and then kind of just blends that right in there. So that's kind of our bottom half. So let's see, we have any questions going on? Purple, yep, then we probably got to do a purple one. Okay, so I'm not going to wash my brush out. I'm just going to come back to my 2 oranges, dip in those, and we'll do, so that's really peachy looking, so I want some more of the dark in there, so we're just going to kind of brush some of the dark in there, just kind of brush it out. You can see it just kind of blends together. You will need a flat brush to do this. A round brush probably isn't going to work the easiest. You can probably do it, but the flat brush just works a lot better. So you can see we got our dark orange coming back in, and if you want more dark orange, you just go dip in that dark orange and just kind of work it back in there. And I'm going to spin it now on my stick. Go back to my orange and my orange peel and my hot orange. And kind of bring it down and overlap it a little bit so they just kind of blend together. And I need some more of our hot orange because my orange peel kind of took that over when I squirted it all over the place. We're just blending a little bit. It's not a lot. I kind of wanted it real streaky, just for that nice nighttime Halloween look to it. I'm dragging my hand fairly lightly over the gourd. I'm not going real heavy and painting it out. I'm just kind of dragging it. Now I flipped my brush over because there's more paint on that side. Get some more of our hot orange and our orange peel. So Courtney says you guys can have more gourds shipped in your next box. Are they on where they can go and purchase them? And they'll Courtney will get them on our Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque, so you guys will be able to add them to your boxes. Just give her till next week because we're still finishing up shipping. But then she'll be able to, she'll have those listed on there, and then we actually have the skinny gourd, the chubby gourd, and then our box gourd, and I'm just using the box gourd. So now I have another section done, so now I'm going to dip into my yellow a little bit and just kind of bring some yellow in there. I'm going to go back and get a little bit of my 2 oranges and just kind of blend that right over the top. And then spin it, get a little more of our yellow, work it in there. So you can put as much or as little yellow as you want. That's completely up to you guys. Everyone's probably going to look a little different just because You're just kind of blending colors together. So get a little bit of our yellow, and then just go back over it with our brush, and that kind of just blends it right in there. I'm going to put a little yellow in. So Courtney figured out a workaround for our shipping when we offer the free shipping. And when you go to brendasbrushstrokesandbisque.com, you pick store pickup. Even though it's being shipped to you, pick store pickup. And that's just our workaround to be able to ship it to you and not charge shipping. And then when Courtney finishes up your order, she has to complete it. So then you get another email that will say your box is ready, your order is ready for pickup, but you don't need to pick it up. It's actually, it's in your box and being shipped. That's just a little workaround to avoid having to refund shipping. It's just something she kind of figured out. So that's how you can get free shipping. You have to be a BisqueBox subscriber for that. And then it's part of like your add-on bisque or your paint or brushes or whatever. Okay, so I got a whole lot of yellow right there. So we're just going to brush that out. Just kind of float it out so it isn't so much in one spot. And then my brush is getting pretty peachy colored, so I'm just going to wipe it out and come back to my hot orange now and work that in there because I do want it a little bit darker as it gets out towards the top. So if you get a message that your order is ready for store pickup, that just means she finished the computer part of it, but your whatever you ordered is in your box and it's coming to you. That's just a workaround that we have to give you guys the free shipping that we're offering.
And if you didn't do that and were charged shipping, I sent a refund.
So Courtney says if you didn't do that and you were charged shipping, she just sent out the refunds for that, so you'll be getting a refund too. So,
which I had quite a few people.
And she had a handful that did that, so you'll see a refund in the next few days. So I'm just grabbing paint, doing the same thing that we did at the bottom, kind of working my way up to the top here. If you want more dark color, just grab more dark color and bring it in. Again, kind of keeping his horizontal going. If you want a little yellow, grab some yellow and bring it in. If your brush is getting too peachy, just wipe it out on paper towel. And then you can come back and brush again. So that's kind of the gist of doing this. It's pretty simple. Just grab a little more yellow and the dark orange here. Try to keep it going kind of straight horizontal so it's not coming down. It just has more of a nighttime look to it then. So here I kind of got a curve to it, so I just want to come back and kind of straighten that out. Okay, so that's all there is to doing that part of it. So I'm going to wash that brush out. So we have a question if you can add in some more black. Sure, you can add in more black. Let me grab the brush here after it's washed out a little bit. So I've just washed out the brush and we'll get some black. I'll just show you can add more black if you got it too bright. So I'm just dabbing in the black. I don't want to get too much though. So say I wanted more black up here on top, I just washed up my brush and so I'm just bringing some black back down. Again, I'm just going that horizontal. grab some more and just keep coming around just to bring it down that little bit. So when I do get a glob of the orange like that, I wiped my brush out and got some more black again. But you can have those streaks in there too if you want them in there. Or you can dab them off on your paper towel, and you can see you can work the black back in there more if you want to. So I think that's about where we're gonna leave it, because I kind of like it right there. It's kind of got a nice little gradual change, and now we'll come down to the bottom. And actually, we're not going to do the bottom. I did the bottom when I did the kind of as I did the house and whatnot. So I'm going to wash my brush out. And now it takes just a little bit to dry because the paint is on there a little bit heavier. So now we're just going to basically need black to start out with. And then I used a liner. Just use a liner that you like. I have our 4595 liner. We're pretty wet yet, so I want it to just kind of dry a little bit more. Then I kind of just look at where I think I kind of want my house to be. Some areas are a little darker than others, so this is kind of I kind of don't like the starting and stopping right there of my oranges and my yellow, so I'm going to dab back in my orange and my yellow and kind of come back over that and kind of spread that a little bit so it's not such a starting and stopping. So that should be good. So it's starting to dry right here pretty good. It's not quite as shiny. We'll give it just a little bit so I can spin it around. You can see it's not even. It's just a lot of colors just kind of all mixed together. Kind of that night sky kind of a look. It looks like it's drying pretty good right here. So I had started with the house, so we'll start with the house. You can make any old kind of house. Once it's dry, I can take it off the stick here, but I don't want to grab onto it and get it. Put it on the drying rack, yeah, except then we'd have to quit painting. So I'm just going to I have that 459550 liner. Oh, yeah, we can do that. Cordy said we can show you the September box while it dries for a little bit. We'll let this dry. I'll put it in the drying rack and let it dry just a little bit. So there's nothing perfect about that layer that's on there of paint. So this is our September box that we currently shipping this week. So we have our little ghost girl and our little pumpkin boy. They're dry brushed, so they were base coated black and then dry brushed. Our little girl has some glitter on her. And then she also has a little string that's been tied into a bow and glued on. Cordy should finish shipping those tomorrow, so you guys will have your boxes by next week. We'll be able to start this box next week. If you want, you could base coat your pieces black. We'll probably start out with them base coated black.
If you had a lot or big stuff, it's coming UPS.
Cordy said if you had a lot or big stuff, it will be coming UPS instead of the regular post office. She figured out shipping with them, so it's cheaper for us to send it that way. So if you have a lot, it will be coming that way. If you have a post office box, though, it won't be coming that way. We can't deliver that by post office box. So you'll be getting these two pieces of bisque, your little bit of glitter, your little string. I'm guessing there's a little trick-or-treat bag in there. If you had your box before, you kind of know what that's all about. Let's see, you could still order these if you wanted. We have a few of these left yet. Let's see, Denise says, yeah, that's Facebook. There isn't too much we can do about that. That just kind of happens occasionally. Hopefully it gets better. But that is our September box that will be starting next week. Courtney will put the link. Hopefully everyone has theirs over the weekend and early next week, and then we'll be able to start these guys on Thursday.
Base coat black.
Base coat them black. Yep, you can base coat them black. So I can come back here and grab our gourd. Then we do have October's picked out, and they will be gourds from Mako. Oh, not gourds, pumpkins. I'm sorry, you guys. This is the gourd. So October will be pumpkins, so we'll be showing those to you once I get those painted. So I have to look to see where we're the driest, and that's where we'll start here with our house. I don't know. Pretty says, do I want a fan? No, we'll just start right here. It'll be okay.
I have the heat gun.
You have the heat gun? That might help a little bit.
Okay.
Well, that's all right. I'll just start because we're just going to line it out. And so again, I just have my 4595 liner. So I kind of, you want to decide how big you want your house. So I kind of want my house, I don't know, in the middle third, I suppose you could say. I kind of want like a Victorian peak on it. So we're just going to kind of make us a Victorian peak here. So it is a little bit wet yet, but it'll dry as we go. So I'm just going to kind of line out where it's going to go, and then I'll fill it in. Let's see, I think I'll take it off of that. I can probably rest it on the table now. So I'm just, and like sometimes the haunted houses are all crooked and cockeyed, so like there's no wrong or right, just have fun doing it. So I kind of got my first peak here kind of figured out. Kind of a nice little triangle, I guess you could say. Then I'm going to give it a little bit of space between those. And I'm going to make another peak, and I want that peak to come down further, so we're going to go just a little bit lower and come down a little further. You can make it a skinnier peak, you can make it the same kind of peak. It really don't matter. There's nothing written in concrete for this stuff. We might end up making it bigger as we go, and then I put another one on this side. And then I can fill this in. They don't have to be level. This guy, he looks like he needs to be a little bit bigger now, so I'm going to just come back and make him a little bit bigger. So just have fun with it. Don't like stress over it. And then let's see, I want this guy to probably come down. And then we can just fill that in. And you can switch to another, like a nylon brush to do that part of it, but I kind of just kept going with my liner till I had it all kind of figured out where it's going to kind of be. So let's see, I kind of made him kind of goofy looking and kind of gave it a little curl and then brought it down. And then we can do that same thing over on this side. So that's kind of about how big I want it. And let's see. This one looks like it needs to come over a little further. And this one needs to come over a little further, so you kind of got that roof overhang. And then these guys, I just kind of brought my little peak right over to that one. So you just go with it as you're going, and like you can make them the same or different. It's not a big deal. Get a little bit more of a slant on this roof to kind of bring out our overhang over here. see. I'm gonna bring this down because the original one don't have an overhang on the inside, so there we got that. So that's kind of our little house shape. Like, it's that simple. Like, you could even take some squares and trace them, and a little bit more of a sharp corner here where the little overhang is on the roof. So I'm going to lay that brush down, and I'm just going to grab a little smaller nylon brush here and fill in. So I'm just going to use like a size, this is a size 3 nylon. So now I can just fill this all in with my black, kind of brush that all out where the liner had a little bit heavier. We'll just fill that in with our black. I mean, you can make these houses as fancy as you want to, or as plain as you want to. I'm down too far. You can make them as crooked and rickety looking as you want. And you just want to wait until your base coating dries, though. Mine's a little bit wet, but we don't want to spend all night waiting for it to dry. It'll dry as we're painting here. And then I'm going to kind of just come across here just for a baseline of where my door and stuff needs to be. Cordy asked if I timed myself. No, it was probably like an hour and a half. And that's usually the hardest part, getting the what's going where. We'll just brush that out so we had a nice layer of black where the house is. I mean, you can buy stencils too with the Halloween houses too, and you could like draw that out on here, you know, trace it through your stencil and do it that way too, but I just freehanded it. You can see it's nothing fancy. Okay, so we'll let that dry because I got a little bit of orange coming through here and there. Okay. And then I just came back and painted in all my little windows on there. I kind of decided where I wanted my moon next, and I kind of wanted that so you could see it back in the background of the house. And I had done a full moon, and I used yellow, but I think this time I'm just going to make a little crescent-shaped moon. I don't know. It all depends on what you want. There's no right or wrong. So I'm going to go back to my liner so I could get my kind of my peaked corners on my moon here. I had black in my liner. I had to wash it out. No, it still isn't dry. I gotta damp stamp it on the paper towel. So we'll just make kind of that quarter moon here, so it's kind of just a different little Halloween moon, I guess. And you can turn your gourd so you can get to the different angles. And then I'll just fill this in with the liner because it's just a little area. Looks like I want him a little bit fatter than that, just to be a little bit more of a Halloween moon here. My undercoat's still a little wet, but it'll dry as we're going. Okay, so there's our nice little quarter moon. Then kind of underneath, between the moon and the house, I had a tree, but actually I went on the back first and put another tree on the back. It's just kind of a big old tree, so that's kind of opposite of my house. and then it's kind of at the base here. So I'll use my liner brush again. You can put any old tree. I just kind of tried to do kind of a rickety looking one. He's kind of, or crotchety looking. He's kind of rough looking, and just kind of went with my liner first, and then I'll come back and fill it in later. Then you want to add some branches. So the branches on this one has some curly cues to it. So it's kind of got 3 main branches. So I kind of went one straight up, and then one to the left, one to the right, and one straight up. So we'll kind of do that. Camera's up too high. We'll see when Courtney comes back. Maybe I just got the piece in the wrong part. I'll move our piece up. Can you guys see better now, hopefully? So I kind of got a right branch, a middle branch, and a left branch. So I just using my liner. And we'll just kind of put in a little line for our branches. Kind of one coming straight up. And then one coming more to the right here. So hopefully you can see better. Okay. So it's just kind of a little guide, and now I go back with my liner and I'll add more branches. So I'm just gonna kind of pick up here in the middle where it skipped, and then come out and put my little curly cues in there. I'm going to add a little water to my black so my liner goes better on the tips. So you want your branches thicker closer to the tree, and then thinner as it gets out to the tip of the branch. And you don't have to put curly cues in if you don't want to. It's just put your straight branches or whatever you want to do. You don't want it real perfect, because if it's a little skipping here and there, it kind of gives it that little spooky Halloween-y look. So I try to make some curls go one way, some curls go another way. Sometimes I like to start with the curl and then come back. So kind of whatever you want to do. So we have our branch coming up our middle, so we got it kind of wide up there, so we'll make it wider as it comes down. You don't want it like a straight branch. You want it kind of ziggy, choppy, so it looks like it's kind of a knotty, gnarly looking tree. And then we'll kind of come down to that one, kind of widen this one up a little bit. And then it's just filled in with the black. So now we're going to come back up to our top here and kind of get some curly cues up there. And then you got to kind of turn it so you can get your different curly cues in here. So go from like wider and then narrow it up. And some can be heavier than others. That'll give your tree more just more shape and dimension to it. Let's see, we'll come and get this branch kind of thickened up. And that one got a little really thick, so we'll get some curly cues going over here. It kind of makes it look like a old tree that's got little arms that are going to reach out and get the little trick-or-treaters or something like that. That's kind of what I was thinking when I did that. Then I do some little half. You can do some little half curly cues and not come out all the way, just to kind of fill in your tree a little bit. So let's see, move up please. Try to get up there further. And we'll add a couple more curly cues in there. Try to make them go in different directions too, so they look like they're not all the same curl. So he kind of got kind of wide through the middle, so we'll widen up the rest of the branch so it looks like it kind of fits in there. Let's see, this one I don't really like, so I'm gonna see if we can fix it up here a little bit. So I'm just putting little swirls here and there, like there's no pattern, you just kind of do what you feel like you want to do. I think we'll bring another one off of here. And then if it gets a little choppy, just go back and kind of fill it in. Okay, so now we can fill in our base of our tree, and I'll just go back to my size 3 nylon painting brush and just kind of fill in our tree trunk. Let's fill that in with our black. So there we kind of got our knotty looking little tree. So there I added a little extra little knot on there just by adding that little knot with the painting brush. Pretty, can you fix the tablet for me? Okay, so we have our tree on one side, we have our house on the other side. So then on the left side, or the right side, left side I should say, of our house, I kind of made a little graveyard. So you could put as little or as much as you want. So I kind of drew like a little ground kind of going down, because that way it kind of looks like it's up on a hill. And then I just came back and made a crooked cross just by going one way and the other way. And then let's see, I want this to come up a little more. And then I just made some little upside down U's and filled those in for some tombstones. And they don't have to be sitting straight either. You want them kind of maybe going in different directions and crooked and different sizes. You can do a couple of them or one of them. Let's see, I think I had 3 of them, so we'll do another one. Make this one go in the other way. It looks like it's kind of an old cemetery. Fill that in. Hopefully you guys can see that. Then I kind of made like a little arm coming out of the ground over here. So I just did a little, like the arm is there and the elbow is kind of bent. And then I kind of gave it a thumb and then a long finger and 4 short fingers, so we kind of look like we got an arm coming out of the ground. And then from there I kind of connected up my graveyard to my tree. So I'll go back to my nylon painting brush and then just kind of zigzag this black line so it looks like it's just the ground. Not real straight. You don't want it like real straight. You kind of want it just up and down, and we'll just fill that into our bottom black. And then we will kind of fill in our tree here where we got orange. And now we'll come back to the other side. And now I can fill this area in just using our nylon painting brush. It's a size 3. If you'd use a 5, would probably work too. Just brushing out our black on our bottom. Coming up to the house here. Okay, so I'm going to put that down. So now on the other side of our house going, I had to have a little tree in here, so we'll put a little tree in here quick. And it's kind of just the same thing, so I kind of got a hill coming through here. So I just kind of line it out a little bit with the black. Kind of make it kind of choppy too, so it doesn't look like it's just a flat, straight land. Like there's trees and shrubs that are being hid by the moonlight, I guess you could say. And we'll bring that over here. So that's kind of like right there. And then we have our other tree on the back, so we'll kind of stop right there. So now this tree is a little bit smaller. And actually I put in my fence first. So we'll put in our tree. I'll put in my main line for my tree. So it's going to be a littler tree. So there's his little main thing. And then we got another little one coming down. And you can make him chunky along the sides too, so he looks kind of gnarly. And then just bring that to your bottom black. And now we'll put in a fence. So I'm, again, just using my liner. If you want your posts straight, you go straight down with them. There's about 3/4 of an inch in between them. If you want your posts to look like they're tipped over, you have to give them a little bit of an angle. And then we'll straighten it back out here. Then you want them vertical. And maybe we got another crooked one here, and we'll come right to our tree with our fence. So now we have our fence line in. So I'm going to dip my brush in my water just to thin it out, the black out a little bit, so I can make a nice skinny fence line with the wire. So I'm not going to do real straight lines connecting the wires, just kind of little, real light, kind of ziggy-zaggy. And we just go from the top of one post to the top of the next post, and then you do your second wire. And it can kind of be a hit or miss thing because it's nighttime out, so you don't have to see it all. Some can be lighter, some can be heavier. And then I just took it right up to the tree. So now we'll be back to our tree. So we'll give him a couple little branches. Again, I kind of go out to the right, kind of straight up. And then over to the left. So you kind of want them thicker at the tree trunk and then thinner as they get out. Kind of just like a tree branches would be. And then I just added a bunch of little branches here and there. And a few extras off of each little branch. So I'm making them just a little bit heavier, so hopefully you guys can see them a little bit better. So it's just a bunch of tree branches, nothing fancy, just branches here and there. We kind of got to bring this down in here so it looks like it's coming out more naturally. And we'll turn them so we can get some branches going on to our other side there. And then just add branches here and there. So is anyone making one of these? Or are you just guys just watching along? Or just gonna add a few more branches in here. You can overlap some of them so it doesn't look like a stick tree. Kind of bring some more up here. I'm just adding more branches so he doesn't look like he's just a little stick tree with 3 branches on him.
How about people like me? Can we do this with vinyl?
So Cordy says, for people like me, can you do it with vinyl? Sure. You wouldn't do it with vinyl either, though.
Probably not, but I know there's somebody watching it.
Well, someone would. Yeah, you could do. Sure, you could do it with vinyl. I mean, you can trace it on too, like print out a page, say from Pinterest, and put like use carbon paper underneath it and trace like the outline of your tree, so you have something to start with. Like you don't have to do it completely freehand.
How about like a stencil?
Yep, like a stencil.
Could you use a stencil?
Yep, you can use a stencil. So now we have our tree on. So now I'm going to join the front tree up with the back tree. And we just want to make that kind of, again, not just a straight line. You want to kind of zig and zag it, kind of make it look like that'll make it look like there's hills and different plants and stuff in there. I'm just joining up my 2, so now I got a big old splatter right there, but we'll let that make it into a bat or something. So then I can go with my nylon brush and kind of fill this in again. Cordy says we're Bob Ross in it tonight. Well, kind of. I just wanted it to be a fun and easy thing and not like you have to print out stuff and carbon copy and trace and just kind of go for it. These are cute to do on like witches' shoes if anybody has the witch's shoes to paint on. I'm just filling in my bottom half with my black here because that's just kind of how it, like the bright moonlight is shining and everything is black except for the bright sky. And then you just want to brush out your black so you don't have no puddles. So you can look at just different ideas and you can draw them out on paper or print out stuff from the computer too, whatever works for you. You can get a lot of like you can go onto Etsy and there's a lot of, like just type in Halloween scenes on there and there's a lot of, you can get stencils and things that you can use too from there that will work. So Cordy says we got a question. Let me get my peak here with our black so it can dry while we're answering the question. So we'll be with you in a minute, Claire. We're just going to get our black all covered up here good before we put our windows in and doors. Okay, so what's our question? What do you mean you have witch's shoe? Oh, there's a ceramic witch's shoe.
Like Victorian.
It's kind of a Victorian looking shoe. I don't know that it's necessarily a witch's shoe, but it's like a Victorian looking shoe that you can paint these kind of scenes on them. I'm trying to think whose mold it is, if it's like a Arnell's mold. It's just kind of a, I know we have 3 different ones.
And Clay Magic has.
Clay Magic has some witch's shoes too. So it's just a ceramic witch's shoe. They're usually pretty good size, like in the 10 to 12 inch range. So I'm just going around on my black edging here on the bottom because the paint's not quite dry and we're kind of rushing it, but that's okay. So you can see my my paint isn't dry and I'm rolling it around on the paper, so it's taking it off. So I'm going to wash out my brush. Okay, so now we have our, we're back to our front. Let's see, put the scene on there. Yep, you put the scene on there. Just like this, you just put that on the witch's shoe, or that Victorian shoe, and it'll look like a Halloween shoe. We probably can share it in the Big Box group. One of our ladies at the classroom had done one. So now I'm just going to use my liner and go to my yellow, which was our lemon peel. And I kind of want to decide where I want windows and doors on my house. Because it's like you'd be looking at this at the distance, you want them kind of small. So I kind of started with my door. So it's probably 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch. And then it just comes down to the bottom as though the place is lit up or the moon is shining into it. So there we have our little door. It's just a rectangle shaped door. From there I kind of decided that I wanted windows up in my, like this is the main window up in the skies, and I wanted them round, so I just made like a little tombstone type windows up here. Filled those in with yellow. And then I decided from there I wanted like 2 more. So it's like a 4-story house. So we'll put 2 more of those kind of to match. So they're kind of over the center of the door. It looks like my door's off center a little bit, but hey, that's okay too. I'm not going to go back and change it. It's fine. Or if you wanted to, you can. Like I can make it a bigger door. So we'll just make it a bigger door so the windows are centered. But like you don't have to be like that perfect about it. Nobody's going to look at it that close. And if you want it really perfect, like you can get little square stencils and put them on there and trace them in and go back and touch up a lot. But I just wanted it to be a little quick little fun thing. So now we have our windows right down the center. From there I put a big window on each side of my door. And I'm not making them completely yellow, completely solid. I kind of letting that black kind of shine through. It kind of gives it like a little shading look to it, because it's kind of a nighttime house. And then this one will make kind of the same as the other one. Just kind of fill it in. You can go back like that one. I'll probably touch up with the black. Then from there I had an, let's see, we have another window here. And I had some little windows in my little turrets here, so we'll put some couple little rounded windows in there. We'll make those smaller because like that's a little skinny turret or whatever those are called. The Facebook must be really bad because this tablet keeps like flipping out. Is yours over there too, Courtney, or no? We'll put 2 over here to kind of match those. And those got bigger, but that's okay. And then let's see, we can put another big window in here. Grab it, yeah. And then we'll put another big one over here. And your windows don't have to match each other. You can do whatever you want. this one's pretty light, so I'll put a little more yellow in it. And I'm going to wash my brush out. And let's see. Oh, I gave this guy a chimney, so if you want a chimney, you can add a chimney. So I just add kind of a little crooked chimney on here. And then I put like a little cap on my chimney. And then I kind of made a little smokestack where it's kind of curling out and going. So there we got our little chimney. And I put some little crosses on the top of my little turrets. Just make some little crosses. And you can see it's nothing, like nothing's perfect. It's just kind of, I don't think you want it to be real perfect because that kind of takes away the magicalness of it, I suppose you could say. I'm going to straighten up my windows just a little bit though, because they kind of do have their own little shape, so we'll do that. Anything that's off really bad, we'll just straighten out a little bit. And this one's kind of big, so we'll make it a little smaller. You can see you can touch it up a little bit too. Okay. Then in our windows, I put little X's and things. So we'll, the big window will put like a little plus sign right through it. And again, it's just with black. And we'll put a couple extras in the big window so they look bigger. Kind of did one towards the top of the little tombstone windows, and then a little cross one. I'm just doing like little crosses in the windows. And again, they're not exact. It just kind of adds to the character of it. That's a little much there, but that's all right. And then the door I kind of left, but this door is kind of big, so we're going to put a thing through the middle of it and maybe leave it like that. So you can see my paint is wet yet, that's why it's doing that. Let's see, makes it look like eyes. So what else we got going on? Okay, so that's our house. We got our trees, we got our house, we got our fence. From there I kind of put some bats in, and I just used my black again. So we'll do that. And I did little ones down by the fence so they look like they're further away. So that's just kind of a letter M with a dot in the middle of it, so it looks like it has kind of a body. All the little wings are kind of different shapes and sizes. So you can do different things with them. So these down here are just real light, so they look like they're far away. Let's see, then we got one that's on our moon, so he's a little bit bigger. So I kind of do a big sweeping M with those for the top. And then give them a little dab in the middle. And then they get their little scallops. I usually do 3, and then the third one ends in the body. 1, 2, and then the third one's in the body there. And then you just fill that in. Kind of give it 2 little ears there, 2 little peaks for ears. You can type in bat silhouettes online too and get ideas for how you want your bats to look. But there's just really no right or wrong. Just have fun and do it. So let's see, we have one up there. And then I added a few more little ones down here where I got my little black spots, so we'll give us a few little ones down here too. But them being smaller, they just look like they're further away. And I usually do sets of 3, 1 or 3. So this one's a little bigger, so he's a little bit closer. A little dot in the middle there for his little head. And then I had another bigger one kind of up over our house. So we'll kind of do a kind of a sweeping M. As you can see, that's kind of a sweeping M. Kind of do it so you guys can see. Then I do my scallops. And then you just want to fill that in. Kind of give him 2 little M's there in the center for his ears. Oh, sure, there's tons. Someone said you can do Christmas gourds. Yep, there's a ton of things you can do with these gourds. Let's see, then I put another littler one over here on this side. So we'll do him with real long sweeping arms. And a big, kind of his little body there. And then those little concave sweeps. And then fill it in. So I just made the bats different sizes, so the bigger they are, the closer they seem, the smaller they are, the further away they seem. Give them some little ears, little body. And then I did put a couple over our graveyard here, but those are littler ones also. And those can just be like little M's with the dots in the center. There we got some over our graveyard. Then I put a couple ghosts around our house. Those are just a little, kind of a little glob. They got a little head on them. And then they got a little arm on each side. And then they kind of got a little tail that comes down to a little squiggly point. So there we got a ghost on that side. And let's see, we got that up there, so I think we'll just put another ghost over here. You just kind of make them all a little different. So this one's got a little bit skinnier head than that one, and his little thing can come down and not be so squiggly, so he's maybe not going as fast as the other guy that's got the point on his. And then we can maybe do one over here too. So we'll have his head kind of going towards the house and his little arms out. And then his little squiggly tail, and he's a little bit bigger. He's got a bigger tail on him. So let's see, what else do we have on our guy? Okay, I put a couple ghosts around our tree back here, so these guys are a little bit bigger because our tree's a little bit closer and a little bit bigger, so kind of get one here. Just kind of outline it first and then come back and fill it in. How are we doing on time?
8:15.
Oh, perfect. Just fill that in. see, I can't tell if it's his head or his arm, so we'll make his head a little bit bigger here. You can see you can adjust it once you get it on there. So there we got a ghost there. Got a little black dot over here, so we'll just make a little ghost over here like he's coming from way back. So he's littler. So the smaller something is, the further away it seems. The bigger something is, the closer it seems. So you can see he's bigger, he looks close. He's smaller, he's further away. And we'll throw another one in here, kind of medium size. And he doesn't have the point on his, so he's kind of hovering more than darting around, I guess, maybe. There we got another ghost. So let me see. Oh, and we got a couple of bats over here too. So we'll get us a couple little bats worked in there. You can put them in right kind of in the tree even, like they're way in the background back there. So we got another bat, and like I said, I kind of like 3, so we'll put a third one here somewheres. Maybe up here. My brush don't have a nice point on it, so I probably need to wash it out. So he's a little closer, he's a little bigger. So there we have our bats and our ghosts and our house. So let me look at my tree, see what we got. Oh, I added another, we got another cross over here and a tombstone, so it's kind of crooked. Like it's old and seen better days. Now we got another cross there. And we can even put another tombstone over here. And then because I'm kind of painting this while stuff's a little wet, I got to kind of touch up where I had black. So I'm just going to touch it up where I've been rolling it around and got paint coming through my black. Then I actually sealed mine with satin sealer to give it just a little bit of a shine, kind of for that nighttime glow, I suppose you could say. So that is really all there is to it. So I kind of don't like how this is right here, so I'm just going to add a little more black. And we'll try to spin it around. Just touching up my black from rolling it around on the table here while we're painting. So you kind of just create as you go, and maybe look at some pictures and get some ideas. And I think the only thing I didn't have on here that I kind of thought I wanted was a spider web, so I could actually put a spider web on here. I think I'm going too quick. I'm going to wash my brush out, go back into my black, and maybe we can put a spider web between these chimneys and things here. We'll just give us a little spider web quick. So we kind of connect it. Just draw little lines to make it look like a spider web. So there we go, we even got a spider web up there. So that's pretty much all there is to it, you guys. So from there you can go back and touch anything up that you want. Like I do have some black spots here and there from, it's kind of a rush to get it done in the hour, but that is our tree. You could go back and add more curlicues to your tree or fill in anything you want. You could add more branches here. You could even add like an owl up in there if you wanted, but There we have bats and ghosts, and we have our tree, our house that's lit up. And you can go back and touch things up if you want it a little more exact. I did take a little bit more time probably painting it, but we're painting it to get it done in an hour and a half, so it goes kind of quick. I guess if you guys like this kind of painting, give us some likes or hearts or something, and we'll try to squeeze some of that in anytime we have extra time on our, like we got done early with our box. So he looks really good with the satin sealer on there. It just makes it shine a little bit. But that is our tree. You could even put like a spider in your tree and spider web there too. But that's just kind of a little quick freebie for you guys because we finished our box early. So you could do this on, say, different things too. You could do it on a flat surface like a plate and use like your one strokes or your easy strokes. Yep, we have the plain insert for Donna's for the basket. You could do something like that on there. There's a ton of things you could do with it. Just use a flat, you want to use a bigger flat brush horizontal to get your colors on. And then just go back and outline stuff with black, kind of think about where you want to put stuff, and then just start painting away. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Here is the finished one that's sealed, so you can see it does have a little bit of shine. It just kind of makes it look like more of a glowing moonlight night. Then I did put a piece of string up in my gourd top. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Here is again our September box we're shipping right now. Let's see, we got, I thought I seen something about the Jolly Tree. We've actually had that darn Jolly Tree ordered since April. I think it may be coming on our Mako order from Michael Harbridge shortly, so hopefully we get that because we did want to do classes at the classroom with that. But yep, you could do that on the Jolly Tree too. You could do it on a vase. Say you had a vase, you could paint a scene around a vase too. That would look pretty cool. So you can do tons of stuff like that. You don't have to just do like our dry brushing for our boxes. But these two pieces are for our September box that we're shipping now. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, like I said, let us know if you like more of that brush work like that, because maybe we can work that into the box. Maybe that could actually be a project for the boxes. I wasn't sure how comfortable everyone is with doing that or not doing it. So it was a great opportunity to do it on the gourd since we had an extra night tonight to show you can do stuff like that. So it looks like you guys enjoyed it, and otherwise your boxes are going to be on their way. The last ones should ship tomorrow, and we will be painting these pieces next week. If you want, you can base coat them black to start out with. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week, and thank you for joining us tonight. Bye.